Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the In Between the Stitches podcast. I am your host, Brady Wilson, with my co-host, Chase Olswinger.
Nice to be back.
In studio, it is nice. It is nice to be here in the new year of 2026. Sorry that it has been over a month since we have last spoken to y'all, so we're going to try to keep this under an hour. That's the goal. We're going to see how well we achieve that goal. As usual, we will start with the world of hockey. The Stars currently sit 47 games played, 27, 11, and 9 in second place in the Central Division of the Western Conference. Still, so it basically 63 points, 2 points ahead of the dastardly Minnesota Wild, and that is still the second most points in the league by a few. So, and if you look at their last 10 games, they're 2-4-4. So not very good. Basically that translates to 2-8, but just 4 points. But really, you lost 8 of those games, so they've hit a really bad skid, which I think was expected. I think from Stars fans, like, look, that there's going to be a moment coming up where we can't sustain this level of play, and we haven't been sustaining that level of play. Even Colorado's picked up a couple extra losses in the actual regular losses, not overtime losses, which they still have 8 of those. We have 9 of those. Colorado 33-4-8. But again, we're not kind of worried about who we're chasing, just worried about making sure that we don't let this skid affect us too much. They did sign Justin Ritzkovian to a 2-year extension. I mean, you got to think, what a find.
Yeah.
Undrafted free agent, I think out of a Northeastern state. And the Star Scouts found him, and then look, he's a really good fourth-line player. So I think for the Stars, it's going to be important this stretch coming up, because then we got the Olympics in February, and they get some guys get a break. Some guys are going to be playing the Olympics, then coming back off the Olympics, and that's going to be your best players, right? That's going to be for the Stars. It's going to be Mikko Rantanen. It's going to be Esa Lindell. It's going to be Miro Heiskanen. It's going to be, let's see, who else am I missing? It's going to be Rupe. It's going to be Foxa, who's playing for the Czech Republic. Then let's see, there's one more. Harley.
And also Ottinger
and Otter for Team USA.
Crazy that Robertson didn't get it.
That's a snub. But you know what? That means that those players might be a little bit extra tired going into the back half of the season. So I'm very interested to see what post-Olympics our team looks like. I do expect Jim Nill to make some moves. Obviously, Rasmus Andrén, Nazem Kadri. There have been some names kind of floated around towards Dallas. So it's just going to come down to what does Jim Nill decide to do. And I think me and you share the same belief, and that is in Jim Nill we trust. And I think every Stars fan should share that belief, that whatever he decides to do, there's a pretty good chance, high probability it's going to be a move that works out. I don't want to rush past the Stars, but besides their play, that's been the main story over the past month, is that they're not playing well. They do have a game in Utah against the Mammoth tonight, 8 p.m. Let's see. What did they do in their last game? I think they lost to the Ducks. And they've been playing close games. Like, it's not like they've been getting their brains beat in. They've been playing pretty close games, and just their defense is a little bit banged up. We're a very banged up team. A lot of teams are very banged up right now. We still have some injuries that we're working through. Jamie Benn got hurt at some point. Sagan's probably out for at least the rest of the regular season. So, you're dealing with some injuries. Liam Bichsel is still out. Thomas Harley looks like he's still playing with something. So, it's just about, I think, trying to get back in the win column and halt this skid.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, kind of like you said, despite all the trouble that we've seen them have, they are still second in the entire league in points. So, however you want to look at it, yeah, they have not been playing well as of late, or at least up to their standards, but they're still where we want them to be in the standings. And if they can just continue to, tread water with these games, and just pull out those overtime wins, or pull out the close losses in regulation, just simple one play differences could be the difference in where they end up in the postseason.
And this is what we talk about in football. I've talked about it in other sports, and it's true in every sport. You want to stack wins as much as you can early in the season, because early in the year, right, you're still kind of figuring out your team. Everyone else is figuring out their team. when you get to this middle section that we're in right now for the Stars, the big deal is now you stack so many wins, you can lose some games. You don't feel as bad about losing games, and if you're a team that's kind of on the margins and you're really struggling, you struggle early, you can't have this type of skid, right? You're hopefully thinking that you've already had that skid, and that now you can try to stack wins. But it's a lot more, I think, especially in terms of trying to make the playoffs and whatever, stacking wins early, so that way when you get into the more of the dog days of the season, if your roster's banged up, if maybe you've had some guys that are underperforming, whatever, then okay, cool. We have a bad month, but we had 3 good ones that can kind of counter that, and we can still end up being near the top of the league. We're now going to move to the Mavs segment. We will obviously monitor if anything like big happens to the Stars trade-wise. Mavs, I saw. Okay, so I'll tell you what I know, and then we'll get into what Chase knows, which is infinitely more than I do. Cooper Flagg exited the game recently with an injury. Anthony Davis. This is now just for everyone. This isn't a rerun. This isn't something. We're not. I don't have notes from previous episodes that's getting mixed up. Anthony Davis is injured again, and this time it's something in his hand. I don't know what. And then it was he needed to have surgery. Now he doesn't need to have surgery. So Chase, what can you tell us?
Well, just going back to those injuries, yeah, Flagg exited last night with I think it was a minor ankle sprain. I mean, he's out tonight. They play back-to-back. He'll be out tonight. But I don't expect a multiple game absence from it, especially from a kid who just turned 19 years old.
Right.
So I expect him back on the floor soon. And speaking of him, it just is unbelievable how amazing he is and how amazing he's going to be and how lucky we are as a franchise that we were able to land him in the 1 year where everything just seemed like it was going downhill. But the evolution in his game is taking every single game from being the number one option. Really, I mean, 80 is not on the floor, so you have to rely on your 19-year-old rookie to kind of run your offense. But he's doing a fantastic job. He gives me a reason to watch the games while especially Kyrie and 80 are out right now. We have a future, which is just something nobody would have expected a year ago today. Actually, a year ago today, we were all still happy. But that's coming up soon. But no, I mean, AD, yeah, I don't know if you saw the drama or heard the drama. Shams tweeted out saying that he's going to need surgery. Yeah. Then AD responds to Shams saying, y'all got to stop believing all these lies you see on the internet. So the people were kind of speculating, like, do you need surgery or is there something else that we're missing here? Turns out, after a second opinion, Shams was wrong and AD was right. He actually does not need surgery to be reevaluated in 6 weeks. That's cool when you're a Mavs fan and you want AD on the floor, obviously, because he did have a 10-game or 5-game skid of being on the floor.
New record, by the way.
For the Mavs, at least. When he's on the floor, he's 25-10 every night. So you want that on your floor. But it hurts the Mavs, especially because obviously with the trade talk of trying to get the most you can because you have to trade AD. Not that, I mean, it's not that they want to. Nico put them in this position where they are forced to, and they have to trade him. But when you're injured and you have potentially get surgery on your hand,
yeah,
hurts his value. So I don't know what they're going to do, and I don't know if he's going to get traded because if you trade a guy like Anthony Davis, you want to make sure you get value back. You don't just want to say, "Hey, look, we know this trade. We know the trade was awful. We know we all know that, but we're not just going to send him out just to get him out."
We've been hashing it out for the last year that the trade's been awful. In fact, in my PR class, in both of my PR classes, the sports one and the non-sports one, the subject of Nico Harrison and the Mavs came up in both. It is now being taught at a university in Texas how it has already become part of the curriculum as to how bad the trade was in the PR on the trade. Continue, yeah. Chase.
But you don't just want to send out Anthony Davis because he's not playing and the fans are fed up with it. He's not playing and you just say get rid of him. You don't do that. It's still Anthony Davis at the end of the day. When he is on the floor, he's 25-10, 4 blocks, whatever it may mean.
But he'll miss 25 games and play in 10, so that's the problem.
So you have to do it at the right time where he's on the floor, and then you do it, but they didn't. So now there's a lot of people saying, well, what if you just sit AD the entire year, let him get fully healthy. Go into an offseason. Let's sit Kyrie. Let Kyrie get fully healthy. Then you run it back next year when Lively's back. Kyrie's back. Anthony Davis is back. Flag's second year. That doesn't sound half bad of a team. I mean, when you think of it. But then all those three guys that I mentioned coming back have injury history. And how confident is Patrick Dumont when it comes to keeping those guys on the floor?
Yeah.
And if we do make the playoffs, they'll be available. It sounds good when you say it. Hey, just keep AD. And then Mavs still have their pick this year. So tank this year, which is what I want to do, by the way. They need to lose this year. That's the only way they have a future.
Well, I've heard that the draft class coming up is very, very good.
It's very good. They have their pick this year. Nico traded all the picks away to build around Luka for the future. So we don't have any more picks except for this year. 27 first round pick, PJ. 28 first round pick, Gafford. All those picks are gone.
Wait, what about 29?
We have that's the Lakers pick that we got in the
So
Luka trade.
27, 28, we have no first round pick
Correct. In the
in the current model.
yes, and then in 2029 we do, but it's going to be the Lakers pick, and as long as they have Luka on their team, they're not going to be in the lottery or anything. I mean, so that's going to be a low pick. You don't have one in 30, and then you got one in 31.
What happened to our 1 in 30?
I think it was also part of a trade I think it might have been a Kyrie deal.
Okay.
So again, all those picks that we gave up, fine. We got the guys we needed to surround our team to be a championship team. And then you trade the cornerstone piece, and now you don't have any of it. So, but they do have their pick this year in a very top heavy class. Like extremely from the lottery there's a potential superstar in that in the lottery. So they need to lose this year. The best case scenario for them is Flag just continue to develop. Nembhard continue to develop. All their young guys develop, but they lose. And then if you want to bring back AD, fine. You have them fully healthy for next year.
Do you think there's a team that is willing to give up a 27 and 28 first round pick for AD?
Of course, 100%. But that would be it. You wouldn't get any few players in there.
And see, I'm almost fine with that. I'm almost fine with here, Wizards, here, Hawks, here, they've been in the news too. Somebody, take him, sell him to your fans, put him on all the tickets and all the things and all the season ticket stuff and all of your whatever, Hawks TV or whatever they have. And then what we're gonna do, and then we'll take 2 first round picks, and maybe they have like a salary guy they want to dump.
Well, that's the problem.
Cool.
The Hawks, for example, just to quickly, you have to stay within the cap. You can't just give AD to the Hawks for 2 first round picks because they'll go way over the cap. He's making $54 million a year.
Cool. We'll take some random.
It'd be Porzingis back in the trade. If it was the Hawks, it'd be Porzingis.
Wouldn't that be funny?
And a first round pick.
Wouldn't that just be the greatest turn of events ever? Right there, Kristaps Porzingis back in Dallas. I'm with you. I because I'm not watching, so I'm not being subjected to it. I'm a lot more likely to advocate for tanking when I'm not watching the team. If you've noticed, so because I'm not watching the Mavs, because I'm not paying for Mavs TV, as I said before. I don't really care if they tank. I'm hoping that we can just attempt to build around your new young superstar, because whether Adam Silver or God himself decided to gift you Cooper Flag, I don't particularly care. We got him. Still rather have Luka. It's just me. Point is, Mavs are in a, as Dell would say in, my grandfather's going to kill me, so I'm picked. Oh, brother, where art thou? We're in a tight spot.
It's not that the Mavs need to tank this year. Well, they do, but
yeah,
not that they want to. They have to. Like they physically have to. They do not have outside of Flag. They do not have a future.
Yeah,
like they have to get a good pick this year, or else they do not have a future.
And the Mavs somehow fall out of the lottery and the play-in tournament.
No, the Mavs have to get a top
5 pick.
Honestly, top 4. Top 4 is where they're like the top 4 guys. Top 4, like number 1, Darren Peterson out of Kansas. He's here. DeBonsa at BYU is here. Boozer is there. And then Caleb Wilson, a little bit of a drop off, but he's there.
Is
but
Boozer
those
related to?
Yes, it's Carlos Boozer's son.
Okay.
Those 4 guys, Caleb Wilson, AJ DeBonsa, Cam Boozer, and Darren Peterson, you land any of those guys, I'm happy. Extremely happy. Take out Caleb Wilson, you get any of those 3 guys, you got a future. So they have to tank this year.
What's the bottom lottery pick?
14.
Wouldn't it be really funny if we were at like what, pick 12 and then move to 1, and then we're supposed to get pick 1 and move down to 12.
Yeah, just complete opposite seasons. As Adam Silver saying, "Yeah, that's what you get."
Yeah,
right?
Mavs fans might cry.
No, I mean, but it's always going to be a mess.
Yeah.
The team until they can figure out what they want to do with AD, whether they want to keep him and just fully commit to that and just hope that he stays healthy, which it's just not going to happen. But if he does, you have a good team. That's the problem. That's the thing. You have a good team, but he can't stay on the floor. And the best ability is availability.
And he has no availability.
And he has no availability. So I don't know. And the thing that sucks the most, before we move on, they don't have a GM in there right now. You know, like we have interims. Michael Finley's the interim, but he was under Nico. And obviously we needed to get Nico out, which they did, but they no backup plan. I mean, this was not expected. They were not expected to fire Nico this year. You know that, right?
Right.
Like they wanted to see if his vision with Kyrie, with AD, his vision wasn't flagged, but
Well,
flag.
his vision was about the same as Ray Charles, and he was blind.
But they wanted to give him a chance to see if they were all on the floor together, how good
Right.
are they? In Nico's defense, in his only defense, he never got to see it. He saw 3/4 of it, and it looked like really good basketball with Kyrie and AD on the floor together. Now you add Flag.
Yeah.
You can't fire him. You got to give him a chance. But the fans made this firing happen, and you did not have a backup plan with a general manager. So how confident are we that if they do move players, especially AD, your most, well, it's probably not a Flag, but your second most valuable asset, how confident are we that they're going to make the right decision and get the right value for him? I don't know.
Well, I think you start by offering him to more than one team.
They are.
Hold
They're
on,
talking.
That's.
Oh, you talking about the look? Okay.
I think that's where you start. Is you don't pick a team and then go, I'm going to deal. You don't pick a team run by a former friend of, or at least a friend of yours. A little shady there. Well, I mean, okay. To be fair,
Well, he wanted AD. That was it. He wanted Anthony Davis. Wherever AD was, he was going to get him. That's what it was. He thought Anthony Davis, with the current roster, if you flipped Luka and AD and had them in the finals versus the Celtics, that we would have won the finals. That was his thought process.
yeah. Well, his thought process isn't accounting for Anthony Davis would have been hurt.
Yes, that he was literally thinking if both players are healthy. And look, and when AD is on the floor, he is a top 10 player. AD is a superstar. He is a phenomenal talent. And there's no debating that. He is a phenomenal player.
But I could also be a phenomenal player and superstar, but because I don't play, that doesn't make me you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you don't see me, so it does. Just, am I really just a tree falls in the forest and nobody's trying to hear it? Did it make a noise? The answer is no, it didn't. If he's a superstar, but you never get to see him be a superstar, is he really a superstar? No, he isn't.
I think it was RJ Choppy. It was someone who said it. Or someone with the ticket, maybe. Or maybe it was a fan. I don't know. It was someone who said, the Mavs aren't, they don't hate AD. We don't hate AD.
No, I don't
We have
hate
nothing
AD.
against him. The problem is that when he gets hurt, it's just a reminder of what you traded for him.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's the problem. There's nothing against AD. We like AD. We would love for AD to bring the city a championship.
I would have loved to add AD to Luka and Kyrie.
Oh my goodness, it would be amazing.
Yes, I would have been nervous about the injury stuff, and every time he would have been injured, it would have been like crap again.
But also, AD doesn't get traded for less than 5 guys, though. I mean,
Well, what I'm saying is
yes,
if somehow you're able to add AD to the current core you had, I think we would have been.
Oh my goodness,
would have been very interesting.
yeah.
But like you said, and like I'm with you. I can't remember. I think it was someone on the fan.
I think
that said.
Who was it?
Because I saw, and I don't,
Yeah.
I do follow. I'm sorry to the ticket, but I do follow the fan more than the ticket. Although I am following the ticket more. I did see that somebody said it's just a reminder every time you see he's hurt.
That's what it is.
You gave up Luka for this guy,
Yeah, and that makes
and nothing like Max Christie in a first round pick is all else you got. And I hate to say this, but first round picks are like bags of Skittles in the NBA. They're just thrown around. Okay,
They're good if you get lucky.
If you get the Wizards pick, but like getting a team that's not the Wizards, then you're.
Speaking of that, they traded for Trae Young.
They did get Trae Young. We hadn't talked about that yet, but we are gonna have to move on just because I don't want to spend too much time on one thing. The Rangers segment, we could probably honestly use the same one that we used a month ago. I don't believe that really anything major has changed for the Texas Rangers, other than them saying that they might add another pitcher, which doesn't make sense because that's like the one thing that they do well.
I don't know if you saw the stat that Josh Smith led the team in hits this past season with 124. And the lowest amount of hits that they had previously was like 165.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna let's see if we can. This was posted.
A lot of baseball news.
There's Alexis Diaz. We did re-sign Chris Martin. I don't know if we talked about Alexis Diaz and Tyler Alexander. So we've kind of remade the bullpen. You signed Danny Jansen. I think we talked about him. No, we didn't. No, and you know how I know we didn't talk about him? It broke at your graduation party, which was the day after we did the episode. Remember? We signed like 3 guys at once because me, you, Garrett, Nathan, all the guys we were all talking about. Okay, so we haven't talked about this yet. So there actually has been Rangers news. My bad. They signed Danny Jansen to a contract. I like Danny Jansen. I think he's a very suitable Jonah Heim replacement. I do think you upgraded there, actually. At least body language-wise. Sorry, Jonah. You also signed Tyler Alexander. Interesting left-handed pitcher. I think he actually is on a major league deal. So, he was with Chicago last year, pitched to the tune of a 4.98 ERA. He'll fit right into our team concept. The interesting one to me is Alexis Diaz, former closer of the Reds, guy that had an ERA, that was sub 2. That was in 2022. 2023, he was still pretty good. A little bit worse in 2024, and then he was getting shelled like the beaches at Normandy last year. His ERA was over 8.
Oof.
But he's shown success. He throws hard. I'm actually fine for him as like a reacclimation project. Probably it's a 1-year deal. It's a cheap deal. Look, you had success doing this last year. Someone that was supposed to retire but didn't, and I'm very happy we re-signed him, is Chris Martin. Of course, a cheap $4 million deal. He was really good outside of the fact that his body is clearly breaking down, but I'm cool with him being back. We got Zach Kent on waivers. Andrew Heaney retired. That's another member of he had a great game in Game 4 of the World Series. He pitched really well for us actually that season. So hats off to him. Thank you for the World Series. Another interesting one, they did sign Nabil Crismatt. He's a guy that I've liked for a long time, so I'm very intrigued by him.
I think he had a really good starting game versus us last year in Arizona.
He's got some starting experience. He's got some reliever experience. He's kind of a swing guy. He's someone that I could see them making. I could see him making the team. Outside of that, it has been we signed Patrick Murphy to it has been a very quiet offseason for the Texas Rangers. They have not done much. Which for me, here's why it doesn't make a lot of sense. Their payroll right now is like $170 million. They said they don't want to go over the luxury tax. That's cool. Okay, fine. They went over it by again. They went over it by like a few $100,000, by the way. It was like, this much over. That's cool. You don't want to go over? Totally understand. You're not even going to spend $200 million? You're like 170 something. Okay? Now, I'm not a math major. But that's about $70 million, I believe, that you have before you go over the luxury tax. You can't even spend 50 of that? You can't be in on Kyle Schwarber? You can't be in on Kyle Tucker? You can't be in on Cody Bellinger? Any of these hitters. Your hitting sucked. It was terrible. It is the worst hitting team the Rangers have ever had in the history of the team since 1972. I'm not counting the Senators because the Senators were really that bad. And then you had the best pitching in your team's history. And you're out here saying that we're looking at signing pitchers, not hitters? Right now, here's your starting lineup for opening day. Probably Higashioka, maybe Jansen, who cares? That's your catcher. Jake Berger at first, Josh Smith at second, Josh Young at third, Corey Seager at short, Langford in left,
Carter
in center, and Nimmo, and then DHing's Jock.
It doesn't sound awful.
That's not terrible.
But they need to upgrade. Yeah.
Is that a team that's going to win you a World Series? No, unless, like in 2023, everyone has career years outside of Seager and I think Langford, who are like your two. I know Langford doesn't have the numbers, but I think he's superstar talent. Outside of those two guys, maybe Carter throwing an asterisk. Everyone else has to have like career years for you to be good. Look, your pitching's still great. DeGrom, Evaldi, Leiter, Rocker. Who's the fifth?
Latz.
Probably Latz. That's another thing. You probably need to sign a starter. I like Jacob Latz. I like him a lot more in the bullpen. And then, DeGrom hurt. Evaldi hurt. Leiter, Rocker, all injuries are going to happen. Bring him up. This is what I don't understand about the logic, Chase. Cool, we have 5 good starters. Let's not sign any more
Yeah, they're all healthy.
because they'll all stay healthy. We don't need a 6th good one. But I don't understand it. So I'm fine with that. Why can't you add a pitcher and a hitter? Josh Smith's your primary second base. The only thing I can think of is that they do not want to get a long-term answer at second base because they're hoping that that's where Walcott's going to go, which he's a little bit tall for a second baseman. But that's the only logic I can come up with for why you're not adding another impact bat with a glaring hole at second base. I love Josh Smith. He's a utility player. I don't know if I like him as an everyday starter. You have multiple guys in your lineup that can't hit lefties. That Bruce Bochy, a Hall of Fame manager, would not hit against lefties. Josh Smith, Jock Peterson, Evan Carter. Now, I like Skip Schumacher, and I actually think he's a hell of a manager, and I'm very happy that he is managing my baseball team. I'm fine with the coaching staff they've put in place. But I don't exactly care for the roster, especially when I feel like the West is wide open. Look, the Astros are a dying dynasty. They're dying. Fromber's not resigning. I would be very shocked if he did.
Yeah.
Tucker's not going. They are a dying dynasty. The A's, a fun, young upstart that's added some pieces, but they're still not ready for prime time. The Angels, in the middle of a rebuild. And then the Mariners, who are really good, but really streaky. So you have great rotation, but their hitting is very hit or miss. It's very streaky hitting. So this Western Division is wide open. And with, again, fielding a top 2, such as DeGrom and Evaldi, 2 aces, because Evaldi's pitched like an ace with us. Why are you sitting back and going, well, we think what we have is good enough? You know what I mean? That's what's frustrating to me as a fan of the team, is that I just don't think that but that's the only thing I think of, Chase, is that they're hoping that either maybe Seager moves to second, which feels kind of funky because he's also 6'6".
Yeah.
Maybe they move Young to second and Walcott to third. I don't know what they're deciding. That's the only thing I can think of is that. And now if I see in spring training Sebastian Walcott getting, time at second base, then it will make sense. Okay, they don't want to sign a Luis Arraez to a 2-3 year deal if they think opening day 2027, Walcott's their starting second baseman. That makes sense to me. I understand that. But right now it's hard for me to, you know what I mean? That, I feel like I'm almost grasping at a straw there. And I like Brandon Nimmo. It's just, you're hoping that they're hoping that the guys rebound. The problem is I think you're banking on too many rebounds. You're banking on Jock rebounding, which I think he's due for a rebound. But you're banking on Jake Berger having a better year, Josh Young having a better year, Josh Smith kind of being where he is, maybe Danny Jansen regaining that old form that he's had before. You're banking on a lot of things. You're banking on Evan Carter staying healthy for a season. Who's your 4th outfielder right now? Now, I do like Michael Hellman, and I do like Cody Freeman. So I like some of the young guys, right? The little rascals. I do like Cody Freeman as a utility guy. But I'm just concerned about, and maybe it's because I'm a Rangers fan and I'm used to the Juan Gonzalez's and the Josh Hamiltons and the big bopping sluggers that just knock them 450 feet 30 times a year. And this lineup's a little bit more away from that, and we're going more trying to produce runs rather than just trying to slug runs. I'm fine with that. I don't hate the lineup construction. I just am concerned as to why they're reluctant to add more pieces. And I can only think of 2 things. 1, they've got young guys that they have big plans for. And 2, Maybe CY just doesn't like the free agent class. That's also possible, that CY and Finstermaker just don't really like who's a free agent this year, and they want to keep the books open because maybe they like someone next year. Very possible. So I'm keeping an open mind. But it's frustrating for, I think, a lot of Rangers fans. And it's a little frustrating when you're coming off a bad year and you're hoping that, we've kind of gotten used to this aggressiveness in the winter, right? Off season of 21, Simeon, Seager, John Gray. Off season of 22, Nathan Eovaldi, Andrew Heaney, Jacob deGrom, right? Off season really kind of last year. They didn't add a ton last year's off season, but they added Jock Peterson and they added Jake Berger. And they go out and, at the deadline, they get Danny Coulomb and they get Phil Maton and they get Merrill Kelly. So we're kind of used to this aggressiveness. So it is kind of it just kind of sucks to kind of feel like we're regressing back to late 2010s Rangers. We're bargain bin shopping and we're operating like we're a team that's not competing. Yeah. But we are trying to compete. So I'm going to move on now so I don't keep ranting unless you have things to say, which I'm sure you do.
No, I mean, covered it all. I mean, you'd think that they would want to add, not a superstar, but like someone of a potential 30 home run a year guy. I mean,
yeah,
the team needs it. I mean, it's clear.
I think they're hoping that Jock is that though, and Berger can get back to that 3 home run.
I guess. I'm cool with it.
You're just banking on a lot.
But it's a short leash, so into the season.
We'll see. I still have faith in CY, but I'm
I've seen a lot of fans go away from him.
He's testing it. Well, I think a lot of fans are kind of opening their minds up to the fact that John Daniels had a huge hand in building that 23 team.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all Chris Young. I understand that. It wasn't all Chris Young. I'm all for that. I understand that. He's earned another year of leash for me to go, okay, let me see what the plan is. If this plan, if by like 28 we're still kind of treading water, I'm out. I'd like to see maybe we move on, but we'll move to football.
Yeah.
College football. There's been a lot.
I don't know where to start.
I mean, we may have covered Lane Kiffin. He's at LSU now. I'm going to go and say that we did, so that's one less thing we have to cover, but Ole Miss put on a hell of a run.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm very interested to see if Trinidad Chambliss goes into the draft because he would firmly be probably quarterback 2 because Dante Moore goes back to Oregon where Dylan Raiola just transferred. So I'm very curious if Raiola just sits for a year, maybe redshirts.
It could be the best thing for him.
He got killed at Nebraska because they could not put a line around him. Very un-Nebraska-y to not have a good offensive line. But for college football, the national championship is Monday, so we will have a national champion next episode. It's Miami and Indiana.
Or really Indiana at Miami.
We'll start in Miami. Not the team anybody thought. And that's because I don't like Carson Beck. I still am not his biggest supporter in terms of being a quarterback. I think that he's grown a lot. He's gone from god awful to he's like average. Like I still don't think he's worth a pick anywhere near the top 100. I'd be fine with him like a 6th round. Like let's see what he can do. But a lot of experience, big time games. But I'm watching that Miami defense. Akeem Mesidor, Ruben Bain, remember that name. Remember both names. They've got a hell of a defense. Their offense, they've got.
And what's that corner's name too?
I know I'm blanking on his name, but
yeah.
I'm blanking on the receiver's name. The
freshman.
Tony? Yeah, Tony. No relation to Kadarius Toney. I did look that one up, but he is a phenomenal receiver. Just another new freshman that we get to kind of cling on to as fans. Now that Jeremiah Smith's going to be leaving us next season, so just someone else to rise into that kind of spot. You're seeing more freshmen play. I feel like I've seen more 18-year-olds playing college football. In a world of transfer portals, it's kind of refreshing to see, actually. Speaking of the transfer portal, they got to fix it. College football has to fix the whole thing because people are pissed about conferences. They're pissed about who gets in the playoffs. I don't like the committee, and not be for some people because I don't have I'm a UNT fan, but like in major college football, I don't have a power.
Well, look, we just lost our pretty much. We did lose our entire team. So
I don't have a Power 4 team. Okay, my problem with the committee has nothing to do with my team got snubbed, and it has everything to do with who gets in the playoffs of anything should not be decided by a group of people. And what I mean by that, people should decide the rules to get in. That's fine. But to have a committee that gives their opinions, how does a committee have Notre Dame ahead of Miami? And then neither team plays, we're just going to randomly switch them both. That's what I don't like. I don't care who beat who in the season. Yes, that matters. But it's the fact that the committee was telling us through the whole process, Notre Dame's better than Miami. And then at the last second, we're going to switch it. Now, I'm not a Notre Dame guy, but I can also see that's BS.
Well, it worked out.
It's worked out. I'm not saying it hasn't worked out. But the frustrating part is you could argue they shouldn't be in the position because the committee, it makes it feel wrong. Imagine if Roger Goodell said, here's what we're going to do, folks. No more, I don't care if you win your division. Me and my cronies, we're going to decide who makes the playoffs. That's what we're going to do. Every NFL fan would immediately depart because that would be the stupidest thing ever. If any major pro sports league decided, well, we're going to have a committee of people decide who makes our playoffs, the fans would be in uproar. But yet it's held up as a standard in college football, which is trying to operate as a pro sports league at this point. You want to have contracts? I've seen it. The language is being used by reporters. South Carolina re-signs quarterback Lenore Sellers.
Yeah.
Shouldn't the language be Lenore Sellers decides to stay at South Carolina, not re-sign a contract? They need to fix the whole system. I think the number one thing is you need caps on how much you can give a certain player, how much you can have allocated to a position, or just a full-on salary cap. Here's how much you are allowed to spend on NIL total. Now,
is that the same for every school?
Here's what I would do. I think I've figured it out because I just thought, well, football players aren't the only ones that get NIL. Baseball, Livy Dunn as a gymnastics person was getting NIL. So come on. So here's what I would do. All right, schools. Here's how much money you get in NIL to spend on each sport. The football has a cap. The volleyball has a cap. The gymnastics team has a cap. The bowling team, the underwater basket weaving team has a cap on it. We're going to put a cap on everything, every sport that we as the NCAA sanction, that's going to have a cap on it for how much you are allowed to spend on NIL season. And if you go over that, it's going to not death penalty bad, but it's going to be, we're going to reduce your pool then. Something like that. I don't know. They're going to have to figure something out because it's getting ridiculous to see a guy. Eventually, someone made a joke that the Sunday Night Football intros, it's going to be Brady Wilson, UNT, Oklahoma State, Texas and Alabama. They're going to say all four schools they were at. It's getting ridiculous. They also have to figure out a way to get rid of. The draft should not be a bunch of 25 and 26-year-olds. Have you seen the new thing the coaches voted for?
Mm.
You can now play up to 9 games and still redshirt in a season. So imagine holding the guy back for the first 4 or 5 games. He can play all the way to the national championship.
Yeah.
What kind of crap is this? Now we're going to have guys that are college football for 6, 7, 8 years because, they get who was it? I think it was Akeem Mesidor. He's 25. He's going to be 25 on draft day, 26 on draft day, something like that. He's been in college football. He's played 4 years. He's used his COVID year and he got an injury redshirt year. They've got to fix this. Why is someone being able to play college football this long? This is getting ridiculous. The NCAA has to completely overhaul how the portal works, how eligibility works, how the NIL system works. They've got to overhaul everything because the sport is getting crazier and crazier and crazier, and they're going to have to figure something out. But Miami, hats off to them. They're playing really, really well. But Indiana's just a machine. They're well coached. They've got tons of NFL talent. I'm picking Indiana.
I am as well.
This doesn't count for anything.
Yeah.
It's just fun.
Got a message about like 10 minutes for Pack
Okay, so we are going to move on to the NFL. There's been
Sorry.
a lot. Cowboys, what a disappointing
Season's over. Yes.
end of the season. Losses to the Vikings and the Chargers, and then beat the Commanders, yippee, and you lost to the Giants. So you move up to 12. I like that. And then, can I get a hallelujah from all the viewers? Chase?
Chicago. Woo.
Chicago gave us a gift. And the gift was a top 20 pick because they beat the Packers. And
A huge comeback.
so we're picking at 12 and 20. Last time we picked in the top 20 twice was DeMarcus Ware and Marcus Spears. Worked out pretty well. Wouldn't hate working out the exact same on that front.
Except with a Super Bowl this time.
Yeah, but the talent that you acquire.
I agree.
Where do we start? We'll start with the Cowboys first, then we'll go to the rest of the NFL. Boy, they fired Matt Eberflus. I wish I could play the Hallelujah chorus over the thing, but I don't want to get copyrighted. The Flus is gone. Hip hip hooray! I'm very curious about who it looks like they're actually doing a real coaching search, and Cowboys fans don't know what to do on Twitter. I'm seeing so many fans that are just not used to a real coaching search that they're now turning on the search and saying that we're interviewing scrubs. It's like, okay, bro, like you want a real search. This is what a real search looks like. You cast a wide net.
Shotty's clearly running it. I mean,
You interview a lot of people.
yeah.
Top of my list, obviously Brian Flores or a Jim Schwartz. I would love a Raheem Morris. I would love Jim Leonard. I would be cool with Zach Orr. I wouldn't hate Jonathan Gannon. I wouldn't love it, but I wouldn't be like dead set against Jonathan Gannon. Just not my top choice. So they are casting a wide net of guys, and I'm very excited to see what Shotty decides, who he decides to hire. And I'm hoping it's just somebody good. And because you have two top 20 picks, you've got cap space to spend money. It's gonna be a very interesting offseason. Let's like I told you, he called me. We were talking about it. He started getting worked up about what about Pickens? Are we gonna? I'm like, Chase, one crisis at a time. Let's worry about the defensive coaching staff. Then we'll worry about Pickens. Then we'll worry about who we're going to sign at free agency.
And the only reason I'm like that is because we're the only franchise that would consider like not signing Pickens after a year like this when it's clear that Dak needs two targets to throw to. And look what happens. You have the number. Well, I think it's number two. Finish number 2 in total offense.
So,
wow, shocker! You should bring this guy back.
You desperately need to bring George Pickens back. But hopefully we have a defensive coordinator by next show. I'm hoping the Broncos lose, and then we're free to hire Jim Leonard.
Yep.
That's my rooting guide this weekend. Speaking of this weekend, the divisional round. Hey, the divisional round's a lot more fun when you're not going to lose in it, Chase. I am up 3 this season, so it is looking like I might win a season.
Wait. Have I won 3 in a row, or is it 2-0? When did we start it? Because we've done this for 3 years. But
23. You got me in 23 and 24. I could get you now.
Okay.
I got a chance, folks. I got a real opportunity here. I'm up 3.
I have to be strategic.
3, 4,
I have no
5,
choice.
6, 7. There are only 7 games left. The 4 this week, the 2 next week, and the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So as long as I just, and I've already picked my 4 for this week. Viewer can't see. The almighty notebook.
I told him he has to go first because I'm the one trailing. I would be vice versa if I was up 3.
And I hope my dad, he can't see it. It's a very old pin. It's a Myers Group pin. It's a company he used to work at. So when he sees this, I want it just a quick little Easter egg for him. Divisional round of the playoffs, Chase. We got the first game this Saturday. We got the Bills, the Broncos. I'm taking the Bills.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought I was for sure you're gonna take the Broncos. I hope you're right. I do hope you're right for Jim Leonard's case.
I think the Broncos are a very undisciplined team that gets down and tries to make a comeback, and I just don't think that's sustainable. And I think the Bills are too disciplined for the playoffs for that to
What
happen.
worries me is that I don't know if you saw, but the Bills have 3 active receivers right now.
Yeah, I know.
That defense is the real deal. That's what I'm going off of. I just don't think Josh Allen and James Cook can do literally everything to win this game.
That's fair.
In Denver, I'm going Broncos.
Niners at Seahawks. I'm going the Hawks. Here. I mean, their defense is just
I am going
absolutely
Seahawks.
ridiculous.
I'm going
and
Seahawks.
They put Brock Purdy in prison last time they faced
I'm
him.
going Seahawks. So I'm actually there.
Texans at Patriots. I got to go Patriots. CJ Stroud just looked really lost against the Steelers. I have to go New England here. They're at home. I think they're the better team.
mean, this Texans defense is literally historic. They are the best. The Cowboys will be undefeated. They had the defense. That's what I told my dad the other day. My dad was like, "Do you think they'd win the Super Bowl with this team?" I was like, "Not only will they win the Super Bowl, they win by 40."
It'd be like 07 Patriots levels of stuff here.
If they had Nico Collins, I'd go Texans to go against you, but they don't.
So you're going Patriots.
So I'm going Patriots.
And then we got the Rams at the Bears. That's an interesting one. And this is the same logic I'm using with the Bills and the Broncos. I think the Rams are a better coach team. I think the Bears great coaches. But they get down and force themselves to climb out. And you are not going to win a Super Bowl doing that. I think the Rams are too disciplined to allow that. I'm going the Los Angeles Rams.
I have no choice. I have to go Bears.
All right.
I have to go again. I agree with him, and I do think the Rams are going to win. But for my sake, I have to go Bears.
So the funny thing about this is that you can't even tie me with this.
No.
So, and if we split again, the best you can do is tie me.
Then I literally have to go against you every game, no matter what, going forward.
So you literally have to win this week
for a chance to win.
Because if you don't, I'll be up 5, and it's over. If we split like we did last week,
I still have a chance. I have to go against you every game.
There's
going
3
forward.
games. You can only tie me.
Right. So we figured that out.
There's 3 games. We'll figure out how to break the tie. Do you want to make the college football playoff a tie? No, we can't.
No.
We're both picking Indiana.
No.
We'll figure out a tiebreaker at some point. If it does, we'll do rock paper scissors on the show. I don't care. I think we've covered mostly everything we were supposed to cover. If we forgot anything, we will cover it next week. I was gonna do some draft stuff. I've gotten 3 players done. I've watched Arvell Reese, David Bailey, and Jeremiah Love. All 3 first-round grades. I think right now I have it as Love, Bailey, Reese.
Wow. Okay.
But I love all 3, and I'll probably get into more when hopefully I'll be at about 10 to 15 players next week, and so I'll be able to kind of dig a little more into it. But we will talk to you guys next week. It's nice.